Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2, a best of 5 Terran versus Zerg finals. The Into the Clan and Alpha X Pro Circuit number 9, with some of the best players in the world: Max Pax, Beyond, Gumiho, Solar. None of them made it. Spoilers, in case you weren't following closely. But these two champions, well, soon to be potential champions, are facing off, and I want to introduce, we're going to spend a little more time on him, but he doesn't have any info. This is actually his first season in the Code S of GSL, despite playing professional StarCraft 2 for 10 years. No, this isn't GSL, but he's still doing well to be here in this best of 5. It's Ragnarok, which, yeah, is a cool name. He hasn't really had the results to justify the name, but we'll see. I always like when he steals Thors, which he's done against this player as well. Another kind of challenger. Another player people underestimate, though not so much anymore, as he's one of the top Terrans. In all the world, it's the people's Terran. It's Cure. Not known for his micro, but for his incredibly solid macro. He might seem slow, but he's fast enough. The GSL champion and mainstay of professional SC2, it's Cure. Been supplanted somewhat by Beyond lately in a lot of the online tournaments. He no longer has his nemesis Zest to duel with constantly. But honestly, Ragnarok right now is kind of where Cure was. Was in GSL Code A, the essentially the amateur league, not the amateur league, how do we put it? Like the minor leagues. He's constantly been a threat in online tournaments and stuff, but it never really translated into results. Cure, on the other hand, was a GSL player, a GSL level, but he was like round of 16. If he gets round of 8, it's a great season. And then he just started winning. We'll see if this is Ragnarok getting to the finals. He's facing off against Maru. It hasn't happened yet, but this, I'm sure, we'll reference. Nothing crazy to start. Some people implied. Now, pay close attention after you like and subscribe, okay? Because Ragnarok, he's been so kind of under the radar that we don't even have a special card for him here. We like to pride ourselves on that production quality, but Jimmy did not have a card for me ready. He said, well, if he hasn't even been in GSL or top 10, why would we have a card? To which I said, that's just disrespectful. I can't believe you're so lazy that you couldn't come up with anything. Wow, that is... we'll be talking after, but we're here now. Another... Since we're in the most macro start, and I haven't yet nearly run out of random things to fill time with, let's talk about not putting your creep tumor right in front of the Reaper. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about not doing that and how that would be better. But at the end of the day, it's a few seconds delay, so I'm not sure it's going to be a big, huge difference. And the Reaper dies, but it gets a full scout, the back pocket base. Ragnarok actually taking it. Cure building his third at the third as well, so we're going to kick this series off with a good old-fashioned macro game, and Moondance is riddled with them. It's not quite Data C, because once you get past the first, like, quadrant of bases, which does come out to about 4.5 with that back base, the map is actually very easy to maneuver around. There's not too many choke points aside from the ramps up to that platform, so we don't see as much of the stalemate as we do on Data C, but I mean, Cure is very willing to play the long game. Ragnarok? I don't know. I do feel if you're not Cyril, and a lot of people suffer from one of the worst possible afflictions in all of not just StarCraft, but in general, which is being not Cyril. It can be difficult to keep up with a really solid macro Terran, because you have to try to cover all your bases. And if you lose momentum, they can easily springboard into an overwhelming attack, whether it's a tank push, whether it's just getting ghosts before you're really able to overwhelm them. Cyril always seems to have just an overwhelming number of units, because really those queens, Brenda's knitting crew sewing together an incredible defense. Ragnarok doing his best impression so far, getting a 4th, adding more queens. We're at 6 and counting. Honestly, those are rookie numbers. We gotta pump those numbers up, in my opinion, but we'll see how it works out. He's already got a Baneling nest. Get a couple Evo chambers at the back base here. Cure holding on to 2 Banshees, waiting for that last moment. 2 Banshees are able to kill drones in a single valley. He's held them here. He does have Cloak done as well, pre-cloaks, to try to avoid any Overlord spotting him. It's like Ragnarok did get some safety spores, but that doesn't mean the Banshees can't do any damage. Are you telling me Liquipedia is wrong? He was in round of 6. I swear he was in GSL, but Liquipedia said he hasn't finished in any GSLs. So either we're all misremembering, or people forget about Ragnarok so much nobody updated his Liquipedia page. So I'm just saying, that's Jimmy's job, not mine. Mandela effect. Yeah, Ragnarok has actually been dead for 20 years, which is crazy for someone with this much APM. There's never been a Ragnarok, ever since the apocalypse, okay? I don't know my Nordic lore well enough. We gotta get Serylin on this, too. Somewhat ironically, Seryl, probably the best player to explain Ragnarok's name, even including Ragnarok. How is he just so much better at everything? Well... Another fun fact from the same Liquipedia page, which we cannot trust, is Ragnarok, when he joined Psystorm Gaming and now Team Alpha X, he tried to change his ID to his name, which is, I believe, Hebium, or abbreviated HB. And pretty much, his fans are like, no, your name was cool, don't change it. So he changed it back, which is, you know, not exactly a power move, but I think the fans were right on this one. Like, no. Alright, here comes Cure. We've spent a lot of time filling here, and they've been filling their supplies, as Ragnarok is actually supply blocked with 128. He's only got 1-1 done. Cure starts his tank push from long range. Those slow-moving grinds as they chew away at the creep and start to whittle down the Ling Bane. It's so far away, though, that Ragnarok had plenty of time to set up a flank here. The Marines are into the base. The Queen's going to try to hold it down for now. A whole lot of Lings and Banes from the north side. Combat shield, always important, is done. The double drop on the left flank going to start to make things a little more interesting. A fancy way of sniping Overlords. Ragnarok, he doesn't have upgrades finishing. He needs to go as soon as possible here. The tanks... Okay, well... Some good target fire. Get some extra Banes. Cure. Could have gone better, but definitely could have gone worse. Still costs... Every time a Baneling attacks, it dies. So... There is that to consider. Cure showing off his trademark Cure Micro. The best of the rest, baby. Well, picks up, gets out, and he's just dragging the Lings and Banes around. Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Cure. But we'll come back to that joke. You're like, that was a joke? It is now. Like my commentary. Supportive comments in the chat, please. Oh, Banshees. The Spore Crawl was in position, but he keeps both. Is there a hive? There is an infestation pit, but Ragnarok is still in this mid-game pattern here. Kind of stuck on Ling Bane to try to deal with all this. Does he even have a he doesn't have a macro hedge, so even hurting a bit for Varva. Well, but the Lings and Banes running by the tanks, getting some good bites, but ooh. Here, a little, the medevacs and the Marines were in two different places there. Which, you know... Sometimes in online tournaments, you can be like, well, they're playing like Europe to Korea. No, I'm pretty sure Ragnarok and Cure have about 10 ping to each other, or at least to the Korean server. So it's not. It's more between a chair and keyboard issue. It seems like with Cure sometimes. Though, as always, you look at Cure, he loses all the Marines. You look down, he's up at least a handful of supply, despite getting obliterated in that attack. Just the unit production. Just continuing to pump it out. How many wrecks? He's at 8 barracks, adding more command centers. The 4th is comfortably taken. At the end of the day, what has Ragnarok accomplished? Apparently, according to Wikipedia, very little, even though it's probably wrong. But at the same time, in this game, he hasn't done any economic damage. He doesn't have a hive. There's a Widowmine, takes a hit, another big hit. Oh, that was a big one. They just get bigger with time, which is definitely a phrase I can say out loud with no extra context. Here, heading towards the main. He's nearly maxed out, whereas Ragnarok, he does have a hive done, but he's not actually getting any hive tech at the moment. He doesn't have the 3-3. He doesn't have the adrenal glands. He's treading water right now, and every time it seems like he's getting a little bit further behind in comparison to Cure. The supplies might be even near 200, but Cure's got 3-3 on the... Oh, no, that Widow Mine. Several mines. He actually triggers a couple. There's one big one. Oh, wow, the mains. Oh, it's a mess out there. Those are not real Marines. Those are changelings. Another command center done. Hydra's being added into the composition. Remember the Banshees? No one else does. Another drop. This time 4 of them. Oh, the Banelings. Hello. Okay, the tank on the... There goes the Planetone. Cure! Oh my god! Oh, wow! Oh, that's not great. Well, Ragnarok strikes back. So thankfully, Cure had a commit. This is Cure in a nutshell. Loses the entire base, all his SCVs. It's like, oh, good thing I made that backup command center, which it totally was. Still has nearly maxed out supply. Another... Ragnarok led by the nose into Cure's 4th base, but ends up getting a huge amount of damage anyways. Thing is, he's gonna have to survive the 3-3 timing. The Bio Army. So many Marauders mixed in. There's 117 Lings on the field, though. The attack on the right flank. Lings in the center of the map. Adrenal Glands has not been started. The entire army picking up most of it on both sides. Like a solid 80% of the army gets picked up. And now this is Ragnarok's time. If there was ever a time to get the rest of that tech, it's now. He's maxed out. He's got a little space to breathe. The creep has kind of been shut down a bit. Another command. Oh, I guess there's some Lings and Banes. Oh, golly. Oh, here comes Ragnarok. That's not a planetary. A huge issue. They're the Banelings. Oh, my God. Wait. Oh, well. Yeah. That's a lot of bio units. The Bane, I don't know if there are enough Banelings. If those units actually attack here. 15 SCVs went down, which means Cure's army supply is hefty at the moment. 132. 134 to 92. And Ragnarok can't get that much more. And what would he even get at this stage? He doesn't have a Lurker Den. He's getting a Spire. Maybe for Corruptors. That's a lot of medevacs. A single Widowmine over there. Unleashes a handful of Marauders. What do we have here? No, that's a Changeling. Did he fool himself with his own Changeling? I'm not sure. Some of the Marauders taking the wrong path here. Approximately 17 Creep Tumors. Yeah, that's... I'm not sure you can afford all those. She's gonna try, though. Just side-eyeing Ragnarok as she shift queues through all that. Well, that is one way to get rid of Widowmines. Not the best way, but it is one of the several ways. A huge bio army from the north with way too much. Cure with massive armies on both flanks. Way more Banelings are going to be needed to deal with that, as it's just rolling through. That's just so many medevacs. Where are those Vipers? The drone, just hoping if it doesn't move, the Terrans can't see it. Unfortunately, they do. Another vase. Just shot down, and Ragnarok now gets adrenal glands. That's straight up a mistake. He needed adrenal glands way quicker. That attack upgrade for the Zerglings, while it's not going to be huge... Oh, parasitic bomb. Gets one, gets the second out. Pretty good. Gets up, and gets kind of out. Yeah. Ragnarok is holding, but besides that one Baneling counter, it feels like Cure is still keeping control of most of the map. He's getting tanks, he's getting Ghost Academy. There are Corruptors on the way. Cure is not able... He's no Beyond. Okay, he's not able to close it out with just the M&M and M&M. He has to get a little bit more substance into the army to get critical damage done. Ghosts in production. Simultaneous with the Corruptors finishing and the Greater Spire done. High-sec auto tracking, Neosteel armor, Cure settling down. Ragnarok. Also, how many kills? 17 kills on that mine. It's still going. Broodlords, obviously a great choice against tanks, but with the ghosts being added in, gonna be a little dicier. Still only +2 melee. Ragnarok hacking the game up to 201 supply. Bit of extractor tricking. Parasitic bomb and a lot of badly bruised medevacs. Ooh, that Widow Mine connects again. And Ragnarok, despite the shakiness of the defense, it has been strong. He hasn't been particularly efficient. I'm correct in that, right? Yes, he's lost 10,000 more resources, but only 500 more gas. And that might not even be true here. You have 500 more gas. And here come the Broodlords. How many ghosts are out? 5 ghosts against 8 Broodlords. No infestors here, but the ghosts, there's only one flavor of cloak. Where did the Banshees end up? The Banshees are dead. Oh, here comes Ragnarok. Ragnarok and rolling through with the Banelings, picks up some of the ghosts. They're just going right through the tanks, looking for those premium targets. Not quite gonna get it. More of the Marines. The Banelings being targeted by the tanks. Planetary will go down. The tank shots on the Banelings are kind of amazing, but Ragnarok is refilling with 84 more Zerglings, and he's done real damage here. He kept the Broodlords alive for now, though the snipes will help cover. The Hydras. Cure is trying to fight through, but he overestimated his power. With the Hydras underneath and no cloak on the ghosts, on top of the fact the Overseers are there, it looks like Ragnarok is turning around towards Cure to kill him, in case it wasn't clear which direction he was going. 24 more Banelings, and Cure has exactly not enough minerals, which is exciting. So exciting, we'll watch that moment again, right? Gimme! Wow. Banelings morphing. And Cure's army, he didn't get enough done with the bio. He kept knocking out the sides. But it's like that cinematic where Zeratul cuts off Kerrigan's, like, arm wing, and then she just grows one back. Which is like, well, that didn't end how I wanted it to end. And right here, Ragnarok kept growing back those bases. And Cure cannot afford to actually fight this army, let alone the next one after that. Ragnarok doesn't have that many minerals. So if he does lose the broods, then we can have a conversation. But yeah, Cure actually in the last however long, 2.5 minutes we've gone. Looks like the battle report tracks whenever a unit dies, and if a unit dies within like 15 seconds, it adds it to the battle. So we should actually, yeah, that was the last one. The next one will be starting soon, I assume. It is very cool, though. Well, that's happening. Cure lives. Ragnarok doesn't have quite the army to close it out, at least at that moment. How many... It's really going to come down to the ghosts. Will there be enough ghosts? Well, there's going to be significantly less Marines, as the Banelings just kind of roll in. Here, do the SCVs die inside the planetary when the planetary dies and you load them in? I'm pretty sure they do. Either way, the SCVs were dead after all the units that were left over murdered them, assuming they didn't die with the planetary. Yeah, Cure. It felt like he had all the momentum, but the Broodlords actually turn it around. And Ragnarok is not leaning on those Broodlords any further. They swung the pendulum back towards him. And now the momentum is heavily in Ragnarok's favor as the main base, the natural, and the third are all mining out. Which means only these exposed bases can be targeted here. Well, the last stand of Cure. Or the first of many. I don't know. Blinding Cloud. Banelings rip through the planetary. Broodlords making the tanks nearly obsolete. There are just too many Banelings. Ragnarok adapts and overcomes. There's a small counterattack. Kills one hatch. Is that enough? No. Is it something? Barely. As Ragnarok he has 42 drones on this base. So, obviously not that many mineral patches to work with. Cure now, a desperation in these medevacts. Still only 5 ghosts. Ragnarok starting to bank money again. Especially gas. He's got 1750. Is that... He hasn't started floating his main or natural yet, but the income is... Well, we can see where the mules drop. Wow, on the y-axis there, you can see 2250 at times being the difference in income, which is, like, almost all of it. Wow. Not a great sign. Six SCVs at a time for Cure. I'm not sure if SCVs are really the priority at the moment. Some more of them gonna go down. Cure's got a larger army. And how many Broodlords are left? Where are the Broods? On the other side of the map. Yeah, Cure does have Cure has potential with this army. The Banelings are rolling in. The tank count is pretty damn high. Blinding Cloud a bit late. Will that make a difference here? Microing back. The Banelings... No, it's too much. He lost 25 SCVs. Like, it wasn't devastating, but the Blinding Cloud and just the Banelings chewing through. Cure knows he has to try something, but that's a GG of Banelings right there. Oh yeah, snipe him. Yeah, you got him. How many more snipes you got? 28? No? Well, that's unfortunate because that's the number you needed. The splits are completely useless, and wow, Ragnarok held it together, turned it around, and takes game 1. It was a bit messy, but Cure, it feels like he's controlling his bio a little bit with mittens. Like, he doesn't really have the finesse to focus on that army, and Ragnarok taking advantage of it, knowing that Cure unlikely to close it out. I really didn't expect the Broodlords, especially 8 Brood, no Infestors, but they turned it around. I think the big issue was when Cure decided to stim back into them and try to fight into the reinforcements. And I get it. Like, it looked like the Broodlords were retreating, but That's when he really lost any sort of potential momentum. He misjudged that fight pretty hard and lost a bunch of ghosts and a ton of bio. Game 2, Waterfall. I'm surprised there are no SCVs headed out. I will say, I don't know how I feel like Ragnarok not adding on the adrenal glands. It feels like maybe Ragnarok need a warm-up game, which is kind of a bad sign for Cure, because Ragnarok missed a few key points. Like, he needed that adrenal glands quicker, which is a huge part of doing damage. He didn't have the +3 melee. I don't think it was hurting that bad for money. Even without it, though, able to clear the field. A pool first from Ragnarok, with no gas, though. Adding it on now, but not rushing to roaches or anything. This is more of a, are you going to proxy Rex me on Waterfall kind of situation? And the answer is surprisingly no. It's just 2 lings for now. Just something. Throw that little twist in. Only 1 in gas. I mean, he's probably rallied. Yeah, he's rallied to gas, but... The lings are gonna head straight out. A little late to change course here. The lings, he's trying to box out. Oh, Cure! No! Oh my god, he's not gonna see the hatch timing. He decides to turn the SCV around. And Cure's going for Reactored Marine. Which, if Ragnarok had actually done some sort of early timing, that's better. Because you're not stuck with like a Reaper and then building a reactor. He's going to have units out quicker. But since he didn't see the hatchery timing, he doesn't know it's only 2 lings. He doesn't know... I don't know if this is going to affect his overall build. He's still building on the low ground, but he's clearly being cautious here. If you see the hatchery, you know it's not gas. You know it's not going to be a big roach timing. You know that you're relatively safe to go down the ramp. You know you probably don't need a bunker. But because that SCV got bounced out of there, Cure is... Well, he is building 3 Rex. And now, since he didn't get attacked by Zerglings, I think a little more confident. The Overlord on the Pervert Pillar saw this. Like, it's one of those maps. Cure has to know that. Okay, he goes out. That had to be intentional. Like, I might attack you. You don't know. At this point, he realizes the situation. Ragnarok building queens. I mean, what do you expect? Here comes the... okay. All right, here we go. 8 Marine timing. Sure. Yeah. Why not? Okay. Good luck. Wow, Ragnarok does not flinch. Ragnarok did not build a single ling. He built 0 lings. That's how little he respected these Marines. He knows. I mean, the next round of Marines is obviously the dangerous one, but why waste that larvae money early? 3 queens more than enough to deal with 8 unstim Marines. This is a good old-fashioned bio timing. This is a TVP build right here. Alright, Cure. It's a bold move. Let's see if it works out. Metabolic boost. Where's my Baneling nest? Thank you. Ragnarok and roll. It's fun to say. It's too fun to say, alright? Baneling speed, obviously the hardest counter to this, but without Metavax, though, I think Ragnarok's handling this perfectly. He seems well prepared. The Baneling nest is not required, because when those Marines stim, they really have to commit, and there's so many queens already. building up some energy for transfuse. The Lings themselves are a real counter. It's only when they have the medevacs to heal that you really need those Banelings. But when that stim is permanent damage, the Zerglings have a lot more effectiveness. Did he miss the Lings? They're slightly out of the scan. Cure does not want to risk it. He feels it. He knows. Oh my. He knows exactly. That's a lot of Lings. There's the stim. Is it enough Lings? The wraparound tries to go into the corner. I mean, Marines are good, but Ragnarok already showed he doesn't care about his minerals as long as he gets the job done. And while Cure clearly knew that shenanigans were afoot, little did he know exactly how many feet were sprinting towards him. And the answer was just too many. Shut down and ripped apart. Unupgraded, besides speed, I guess. Zerglings. Spawns the OV, not even bothering to kill it. Kira with the double drop, not quite 16 Marines. Dropping out. Yeah, well, I don't know what you were expecting. He's like, oh my god, he has queens! Yeah, has a tendency to happen. Manages to snipe 3 tumors at the last second here. Zerglings looking for the surround cure, gets the pickup there. Zergling, okay. It's like 3 feet away. You can't just drop it there. Watch me. Ah, yes. Brenda, what? They're right there. All right, we've had enough. Go home. We don't like your kind around here. Go back across the other side of the river, which is also our side. The creep spreads real fast here. Terrans need to employ more water in order to wash away creep. That seems like the most efficient strategy, as creep does not spread over the water here. Beautiful map. There's a reason one the Team Liquid map contest. Just looks incredible. Maybe a little small for especially Zerg players' taste, but once again, Kira's kind of forced Ragnarok into this counterattack by pushing the Zerglings away. Yeah, that's not good. He has to cancel the orbital. Burrow from Ragnarok. It's about to finish. That's what I have to say about that. Thing is, the drama with Burrow is that you want to spread your creep as much as possible. And that means they're gonna scan. So in a lot of the locations, you might actually be able to get a burrowed Bane hit or something, is where they're already going to scan because your creep's there. So I think burrow less for Banelings and more for the general utility of having Lings at the bases. He hasn't even used it yet, so he may in a moment. Evacuates the SCVs. I mean, and some of the Marine. He's dropping out, maybe. Oh, he burrowed a Ling under. Beautifully done. An extra scan. The orbital can't scan in the air because science reasons. It needs to have a direct connection with the seismic resonance of the planet in order to get an accurate scan from the communication satellites. Duh. Read a book. Well, there's a surprising amount of Marines there, but there's an even more dangerous amount of Zerglings. On the other side of the map, they jump over one another in order to get on top of that tank, and now ravaging the natural. Supply depots, a couple Banelings on the way. That single siege tank has a lot of work to do, but these 2 Banelings, oh no! Disaster for Cure. 14 down, 2 Gs, down it goes. Match point Ragnarok. The counterattack was dealt with, and honestly, Cure is getting outclassed. He's trying these. Feels like he's doing his best to be young cosplay, but we need to get back to the Cure that we know and love. Slow but strong. These bio plays are not working out for him. Honestly, Ragnarok is handling it. So far, all I can say about Ragnarok is he loves Zerglings, which doesn't necessarily make him unique as for Zergs, but he does appear to favor just overbuilding Lings and trading them, which, once again, doesn't make him particularly unique, but even to an incredibly inefficient extent, which still doesn't really make him too different from DRG, but it's working out. He lost how many more minerals? Something like 10,000 more minerals in Game 1. I imagine he actually lost way more minerals in Game 2 as well. But we'll see if the trend continues. It is the way to just shut down these bio plays, is to overmake units, so that way they can never get a foothold anywhere. You always have enough units to counterattack, or just directly attack, as we saw there. Pool first again. Last game, I think Cure really kind of... I think sacrificing the SCV to see the exact hatch timing is probably worth more than trying to keep it alive and not knowing if there's gas or if there's potential for a follow-up attack. A very conservative play from Cure that ended up, I think, kind of throwing him off. I like the pool first. It definitely, you gotta have this to throw in. Essentially, when you're suffering from that grievous offense that is not being Cyril, you gotta have something. You gotta have something you can throw him off with. Even if it's a little thing, like pool first, and then gas. Like, it's not a huge difference from your average hatch first in the speed build. And it's just enough that you keep that question mark in the back of their mind. Like, is it roaches? Like, it is maybe even a Baneling bust occasionally, very rarely, but occasionally we get one of those. Or is it just 2 Lings and no speed? And here, once again, it's 2 Lings, no speed yet. But there's no easy way to know, especially without going Reaper first. Here. Well, here's like, Winter, you idiot. Thankfully, he did go Reaper first, per my recommendation, and will get a great scout. And in fact, get a drone as well. You're welcome, Kier. And he sees the timing of everything. It's very clear now that... What are you doing? Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. Comes in. If he actually clicks on the gas, he's gonna... There's no Zergling speed on the way, yet Ragnarok clearly mining gas. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say he didn't want to show Zergling speed to Cure. And now he slaps a Roach Horn in. So, the third, plus no Ling speed. Now, if I'm Cure, and I see no Ling speed, obvious gas mining, and minimal queens, I'm thinking it's a Roach all-in. The thing is, it is a Roach all-in. Right? Well, it might not be all-in, but it's definitely Roaches. We'll have to see how it goes. Kira's actually making a Viking, but he's setting up the tech lab for a potential Banshee follow-up. The Viking may end up biting him in the long run. We'll have to see if it gets enough Overlords and enough scouting to justify its presence. Because that's 10 Roaches on the way. For Kira, though, well, I was about to say he didn't build a third command center. Importantly, he didn't build a third command center before getting the rest of his infrastructure. But also importantly, he's building it at the front, which is about to become a point of serious contention. The Banshee has begun. The Roaches... In fact, I think you're accidentally scouting this because he screwed up the pathing on his Hellions. But thankfully for him, that allows him to get a little more time to react to the Roaches. I don't think this third command center is going to finish, but at this point, you don't really want to cancel it because it's part of the wall. It's a very important part of the wall right now. Yeah, the depot going to finish. The Banshee on the way. Cloak is started, expecting a life after roaches here. He's not going to finish the third, but it is... Yeah, it's the vulnerable point of the... You're going to have to... You have to cancel the... Okay. He knows. He's just waiting for that last volley. Stressing me out. The SCVs are like, oh my god, are those roaches? No one could have predicted we would need to run away. And it doesn't lose too many. The Hellions are doing quite good. A Marauder comes out. Ooh. So yeah, Ragnarok telegraphed a roach all-in. And then he did a roach all-in. And once again, I need to pull back on the phrasing a little. It wasn't so much all-in as a timing. Which, there was obvious... What the hell is this? Okay. It was clear to Ragnarok that he wasn't going to get game-ending damage by the time he was halfway across the map. So he started drone production. He's at 60 drones. Though that might not be the ending number after all this pressure. That is, one, the most dangerous type of attack, which is for both sides here. Really, it's very hard to judge who comes out ahead, because the roaches didn't do much. He lost them all quickly. He forced Banshees, which are, at the very least, incredibly annoying to deal with. I would say Ragnarok built enough drones to justify that attack, though. Like, I think he comes out a little ahead. Oh my god, those aren't walled in, right? They're just idle. Oh, I guess that's worse. Yeah, it's probably worse. Yep. The People's Terran. 1-1 starts. Kira's gonna have not just 3, but all 5 racks up and running. Thank you, Scarlet, for the raid. Would rather be casting Scarlet, of course, but I guess Ragnarok will have to do. Send me some games. So we don't have to watch these casuals. NA is where it's really at. But Ragnarok has stumbled his way into a 2-0 as Kira has stumbled his way out of it. But game 3. Roaches into Spire. A classic tactic with some Zerglings in between. Kira's main weak point is whenever he has to actually micro... Okay. Kira. The People's Terran. Okay? Those SCVs, just making sure everything's topped off before we go for the attack. 1-1, halfway done. Baneling speed. This army does not... It does not spark joy. Or fear. Depending on who you are. 1 tank. A handful of Marine Marauder. I mean, the units will be caught between a rock and a hard place here, but overall, with Baneling speed, Ragnarok shouldn't be too intimidated. The Banshee's still finding an incredibly annoying spot. Huge, once again, though, the third base is entirely and utterly undefended. As the Zerglings just kind of kill. Honestly, the tank may have gotten more kills than the Zerglings on that one. 14 SCVs down. And that puts a little more urgency into this attack. Banshees find another base. Lings and Banes. Trying to close the distance. 1-1 done. The Banshees still go for it. Ah! Pushed away. 11 Mutas. It's time. A bold choice. Here already starting 2-2 here, but, well, Ragnarok decides to split off just 5 Lings instead of sending the entire army. A little bit of indecision there. The tank once again helping slaughter these SCVs. The Marine stim into the main. The Mutas are revealed on defense, unfortunately, but still going to be incredibly helpful at dealing with these annoying medevacs, assuming he's able to keep all of them alive. Reinforcements join up. Ragnarok sprinting. He's all over the place at the moment. Both players really are. Down goes a Viking. The tank in a vulnerable position. A couple Muta volleys take it out. The Banshee's also surprisingly still alive. 2-2 on the way. Cure with a slight advantage in those upgrades. A huge deal in Mutiling versus Marine Tank. Oh, a classic matchup here. Muta's just... Ragnar... Okay. Feels like he's turning like The Muta's not turning on a dime here. But they're looking for whatever angle they can get. Oh god, the Banshees. They're back. The Muta's kind of cornered in the northern side of the map. Out to sea at the moment. He actually has to cancel another base because of these Banshees. Here, sets up on the high ground. Multiple tanks. The upgrade advantage about to kick in. Here managed to get back to 60 SCVs. Finally going to take down the Banshees with a handful of Mutas. Oh, not all of the Mutas. No, they're completely out of position. Oh, God. The Banshees drag all of the Mutas away. And Kier, well, Kier doesn't really seem to be reacting to that information at all. And, well, this is about to get weird. Ragnarok sends almost all of the Zerglings and all the Mutas to the other side of the map where they're getting gunned down by a bunch of 2-2 Marines. But still the attack is happening. It felt like there was a bit of a pause for a parlay there. But now, murder! Well, 2-2 gonna kick in. Ragnarok loses a base. 10 SCVs down. That's a lot of Banelings here coming down the ramp. The tanks will siege. The Muta's still over to the right side, which is a curious positioning. They're gonna go for the natural, finding a tank here. Sniping through, but runs into some more Marines. The Zerglings, that's a lot of Marines. That is a lot of Marines. There are 82 Marines on the field right now, which is altogether... That's a lot of Marines. Okay, I said with the best words. Now, is that enough Banelings is the question. The tanks will siege, and the answer is a resounding and resonating no. As any amount of tanks against Banelings off a creep is just going to make a targeting simulator. Ragnarok, it feels like it's been a while since he dusted off the Mutas. That's honestly, that's kind of where we are right now. Not for most Zergs, it's been a while since we dusted off the Mutas. He was inspired this game, but it isn't really getting the deadly damage he needs. Ragnarok loses another base. Wow. The People's Terran. Ragnarok, he's down to 3 bases. The Mutas are still doing damage. Cure has only 48 SCVs, which means his army supply is all... What is that? 137, which is 30 higher than Ragnarok. Where did this command center come from? And is it going to survive much longer? The engineering bays are potentially... The Mutas are just... Round and round we go. Cure can't quite corner them because Marines can't fly yet. There are so many. 95 Marines! Oh, and now the Mutas are trapped. The Zerglings are going to try to help them escape. The base itself absorbing the damage. Yeah, sure, the Marine count will get cut down, but... Nearly half of his potential supply in Marines here. Not a single Widow Mine. Burrow could really come in use in a game like this. As we're kind of minimal on the orbitals. The economy, Cure wants to use every mule that he can scrape together. Probably not too much scanning. Ragnarok has not done much to replace the creep here either. Trying his best. 550 APM, and Mutas are taking about 3/4 of it, I bet. You look away for 2 seconds and they suddenly just evaporate, so... To be very careful with those. Just now getting an infestation pit. It's just Banelings. This looks so weird. Like, this looks like box art at this base. What's going on here? That base is definitely on a CIA watch list. All right, with that many banelings. Either way. Ragnarok with 25 mutas. Just the turrets immediately die as soon as the mutas give them a glance. Where are the medevacs going? They're scouting. The mutas are microing against an orbital. It's both players obviously taxed to the limit here, as they're both struggling to manage these armies. People's Terran. Oh my god. A lot is happening. I have no idea who comes out ahead. 3-3's finishing. Another base dies, but Kira's not scouted the southern one. The mutas are around and around they go. Kira lost another command center, slaps one down. The rest of the army's coming back. Oh no, the oldest, the classic mistake! No, the pathing! He Christopher Columbus that one, but instead of finding the, quote, new world, he just found a bunch of mutas. So, of course, he's gonna have to go back home and tell them new exciting ways to destroy them. Oh my god, Hellbats. Banelings. Mutalists. Don't go up there. Oh my god, he's going up the ramp. The Marine! Oh my god! Oh, what year is it? He just held his ground. And the Marines. Oh my god. Oh, Ragnarok, he had the high ground. He really thought he had enough banelings. Oh no. He did not. There is no such thing as enough banelings. That's... Well, let's see. He's on creep here. Oh god, he's on creep here. Oh, he's very much. But guess what? There's like 30 more Marines. Somehow the supplies are even. Another round of banelings. This base that Kier never scouted, really coming in clutch. Even more banelings. The base goes down. Ragnarok's outlying. This is like a Brood War game at this stage. The banelings are chasing. How is this? How many? 153 Marines, 360. He's lost. The income still in favor of Ragnarok, but not decisively here, as Kier has managed to get a fourth base for like the fourth time. The muta count is down to 7. He's lost 31 of them, which is approximately like 26 too many. 27. There's still a Widow Mine with 14 kills and counting. I was wondering when Widow Mines would finally be mixed in. It appears almost an afterthought here, but Ragnarok is clearly not equipped to deal with it. He does not have the muta count. He's got +2 attack, but those are 3-3 Marines and Marauders. Oh. Cure. Banelings off a creep. Easy pickings. The Widow Mines obliterate the entire counterattack at the third, but there's just too many at the natural, and most importantly, no Widow Mines. The mutas are following up. Banelings showing up, just busting through the depot. And we're going to the... I guess we're doing this again. Here we go. Oh, Marines and the southern base. The economy of Ragnarok about to be gutted. But the production is vulnerable from Cure. At some point, he floated his main, which I think is on the way to the 3 o'clock base now. Meanwhile, the Ragnarok's, what, 3rd, 4th? Either way, it's dead. He's down to 2.5 bases. The one to the north is... It's been... Oh my god, Cure is, of course, using the Divas. Moving on. Oh, he lost the Marines, but I have no... The supplies are about even still. 38 drones, 33 apiece. The buildings are lifted. And this time not command centers, but the production, but the minefield. This Widow Mine is up to 15 kills. Mutas are still going. What a mess. Ragnarok is holding on by the skin of his Muta wings. Somehow holds on to the northern base. What a game. Here, the worker count is even at 33. The army supplies are near even as well. Ragnarok managed to scrape out +3 melee at some point. I'm losing words like Ragnarok's losing mutas at random times for no discernible reason. They fly away. This will probably do more damage than all the Marines combined. Oh my god. Yeah. Well, there goes a full third of Ragnarok's economy. And that's his only mining base. There are 9 Widow Mines now, scattered throughout the map. All over the place, but a surprising amount of Lingbane here. Hellbat's getting... Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Another one, and another one, but there's still more Banelings. The Mutas are trying to close the distance. A single how is it still going? How is it not over? Somebody! Okay, well well, when the dust settles, the supply is 50 to 100. Cure! What? Not the most decisive victory I've ever seen, but a victory nonetheless. But who really wins that game? Was that it was just less of a defeat for here. Well, the Muta's not quite opening up as many opportunities as maybe he would hope for. These two are made for each other at the end of the day. And we got more games, so don't go anywhere. Like, subscribe, ring the bells. Let the people know. Tell your grandparents. Tell your little cousin who's playing Fortnite. Tell your dog or your cat or like ferret or something, or your Neopets. Because Game 4 of Ragnarok versus Cure is happening. And nobody's sending an SCV out. Well, I mean, there's only one player who could, but... Ragnarok, 16 hatch. Not taking any chances here. Though he isn't going with the full burst again. So... quite a series. Now, I see a lot of the complaints. A lot of people, you watch a Serral game, you watch a Maru game, you're like, well, they're gonna be perfect. They're gonna get the Marines into the medevac. They're not gonna lose a bunch of drones to mines. They're not gonna run up a ramp with a bunch of banelings. And that's boring and sad and disgusting. Which really wasn't. Okay, maybe not disgusting, but boring and sad. I'll commit to that. I'll commit to the first two. But with Ragnarok, and with Cure, and many players like them, you always have that drama, the excitement, the unknown we're exploring. Will he put the Marines in the medevac, or will they all die to 2 banelings? Will he actually run up that ramp into siege tanks, mines, and Marines? Will he try to micro-mutas as best he can? You don't know. The answer is, And when we see Ragnarok versus Maru, I'm excited. Okay. Now, based on this series, I'm not gonna favor Ragnarok against Maru. I know in GSL he's definitely shown some more dynamic play. Let's put it that way. But in a best of 7 against Maru, this is not filling me with determination, I'll be honest. Like, maybe he's sandbagging this tournament to show off in GSL. I don't think Maru is one to... If Maru just proxy Rexes and wins 4 games in a row, I would not be the least bit surprised. But we'll see. I am excited for it, though. It's definitely going to be something different. Maru, will he finally get the G5L? Because this would be the biggest upset. Even more than Creator. Not Creator. Was it Creator? No, it was Creator versus Rogue. Hero. Yeah. Hero was not... It was an upset, but not a huge one. But Ragnarok beating Maru.
It's about time.
I mean... He's already gotten this far, so... That's up there. That's a bit of a David versus Goliath. Is that a Roach Warren? Well, is that a Roach Warren? And I moved the camera to Kira's base. Which, you know, not a genius. It is a Roach Warren. That's not where the Roach Warren would be. But as you can see, he's making a Banshee. And that's very important against any sort of Roach timing, because without a Banshee, you're going to lose a critical amount of SCVs. It's just a matter of how many you can rebuild. But with the Banshee, you put a relatively short timer on these attacks. Now, well, Roaches are scuttling. I assume Cure saw this or expects it based on his positioning. No, did you not see it? The People's Terran. Uh-oh. Come back. Oh, no. Every second counts on that Banshee. Abandoned ship! Flee for your lives! Well... The Roaches are going to get some damage done. Viking done. The third base has landed. It feels like we're watching... It's like that meme where the two people are slapping each other while there's someone in the background just hanging out smoking something. Or drinking it. I don't know which meme I'm talking about, but I'm sure I could... Jimmy, if we get the binder out. And that's what the SCVs are doing. They're like, oh my god, that's some crazy shit. And they'll go back to work. 6 SCVs die. Ragnarok's at 65 drones. Kier still has 3 bases. We're in a similar position to the previous match, where they both just kind of wore each other out, whittled down the unit count dramatically, and now nobody really has enough to do critical damage. That Banshee? Well, the People's Terran. Now there aren't really... Oh, come... Oh, wow. I don't... Well, there go the Hellions. The Viking got a couple kills at least. Finds another OP. Ragnarok's just gonna slam out more Roaches. Roach speed, +1 ranged attack. He's not trying to mute us this game, which I think is a good call. They didn't... It felt like mutas were kind of a I'm up 2-0, so let's give it a shot. But... now the Roaches are more of a let's take advantage of this before his production comes online situation. Roaches have their own weaknesses, mainly a severe lack of anti-air. but the sheer amount that you can punch out before the Terran gets all their production online is usually the defining characteristic. Alright. Here. Some medevac micro. The other medevac did not get the memo. Oh god. Okay. Nope. Guys, gotta coordinate. We're not boosting yet. Alright. There we go. All on the same page. Viking driven away. Baneling nest. +1/+1 for Cure. 1/1 a little bit later for Ragnarok and his roaches, especially that +1 missile attack. Spire. I don't think that's for mutas, though. I'm thinking Corruptors. Roach Corruptor seems like just the brute force method that Ragnarok needs. And I actually would love that as an adaptation. Sure, it's not as fancy as the Mutalist, but sometimes you just need to knock those medevacs out of the sky. But here come the mutas. All right. Well, buckle up. Here we go. Here is kind of wandering around the map with these medevacs. I mean, what else are you gonna do? You just have to wait and see if they're gonna pop out any Marines until those mutas come out. +1 carapace done. Well, no, cure. Okay. Away we go. The mutas either spotted or suspected. He's moving back with the other medevacs. There are no turrets at all. So this is going to be a total disaster. This is the real damage. This is why it was so important that Cure spotted the mutas when he was on offense in the last game, because it gives you the time to prepare, even those few extra seconds to start building the turrets. But here, wow, look at the supply. Part of that is roaches. He's going for the tech lab. Delays barracks 6, 7, and 8. Overall, Ragnarok not just killing SCVs, but slowing down all the production, keeping Cure back in his base, no medevacs out. Hive is on the way. So far, he's got map control, he's got the economy, he's got the supply lead, and he's got to use it. This is the time. The iron is hot, or whatever blacksmithing analogy you'd like. Strike and put him between the anvil and the hammer. Strike him with your banelings. I mean, he's microing Bermudas. Ragnarok is kind of, this is the moment. Like, he's letting Cure slip back into it. Where, like, he's gonna have the 2-2, he's gonna get closer to maxing out. Feels like Ragnarok is missing this opportunity to use that 200 supply. He is getting a hive. Now, that's the key point. If he wasn't getting a hive, there would be no kind of follow-up opportunity. But so far, the mutas have slowed Cure down, but they have not stopped him by any means. And now he's at 100 army supply with 2-2, starts 3-3 immediately. He's got his priorities in check. What is this? What is this 2 Ravager attack? Meanwhile, the mutas snipe a tank. The Ravagers snipe a depot. The Roaches freeing up supply. 58 Zerglings on the way. Added on to the actually 0 right now because they're all turning into Banelings. Hive is done. Spotted. Maybe that'll inspire Adrenal Glands. +3 Carapace. Ragnarok doesn't actually have the gas for it. Ragnarok... There you go. Thank you. It's getting better every game. Every game it's a little quicker. The main base. Cure is awkwardly supply blocked as that sick 2 Ravager counter. Doesn't really have many turrets in the main at all. Ragnarok has taken his half the map. All the bases. They're all claimed. And the creep is most of the way there as well. Widowmine finds a hit. Ultralisk Cavern on the way. The Baneling count, 64. Which is, yeah, that's a dangerous number. It's more than there are Marines. Though 6 mines might help to even that out. Pure has to lock it down. He doesn't have too many opportunities. Ragnarok remembers the mistakes of last game attacking up a ramp. With that many Banelings. Or through a choke point. Kira's just building 4 command centers because apparently, yeah, he does have the minerals for that, I guess. Somehow we went from this tense mid-game to just whatever you can throw out there. Which is why I'm surprised. Never mind, there it is. The Ghost Academy. Another factory. Ragnarok is now taking what most would call Cure's bases, but really, there's no such thing as a free base. The Thor microing. Okay, we get it. You have minerals. Why not build like 6 more barracks? 3-3 is about to finish. Ragnarok is not too far behind on it. Wow, that's a lot of Banelings. That is a... yeah. Hold on to your GPUs. Well, okay, we're going. It's happening. He's just roll it in. The planetary doing its best. Just... it gets taken out. That's going to cost a dozen or so Banes extra. Wait, what? A Ravager? Alright. Auto tracking. We got Neo Steel armor. Command center just kind of floats on over. Chitinous plating is nearly complete. Remember the Mutus? Ragnarok is now almost at the 4 corners strategy. About to complete that bingo take here. But so far he has yet to claim the main. This is traditionally during the bingo takeover, the hardest base to claim. Especially for Zerg players. Ultras are on the field. We got every form, well, not every form of Lisk, but most of them. Plenty of Lings as well. Ragnarok is straight up mining from Cure's side of the map. Cure. There's money in the bank here. He's up to like 2,000 additional resources per minute. Cure has no... maybe we shouldn't build 10 command centers. Maybe we should save a little. Oh my, his economic feasibility is... oh, the Banelings. The problem is the Ultras are absorbing a lot of hits here. Here are the Ghosts. Maybe a little late, and maybe shouldn't be wandering it on their own. It's dangerous to be out here. The Ultras are chewing through the cover the Banelings needed to get the critical damage. The Ghosts are trying to line up the shots, but the Mutas are making it even more difficult. Picks up into the medevac. Widow Mines connect. Almost take down the medevac as well. Mutas, Ultralis chop through an orbital command. Not a great sign as they chop through the Marines just as easily. Snipes, point blank, looking for more, but overall Ragnarok refilling 63 more Banelings. The snipes are not enough to deter him. This command center is optimistic. I guess there was a drop or something over here, but either way, the command center, the float of shame. Thankfully, the Mutas were a little distracted during all this. A clear F2 from Ragnarok will keep the command center alive for now. No planetary. Kier desperately rebuilding. Kind of regretting spending like 2,000 extra minerals on command centers, aren't we, Kier? But not to criticize the people's Terran. Meanwhile, oh my god, the snipes are there, but the Widow Mines are not. That's far too many Banelings as he's Ragnarok and rolling through. Cure down 2-1, and now 3. Ragnarok takes it. The pro circuit is his. Short-circuiting Cure. Just not nearly enough. He just kind of died. You just got rolled over that game. Ragnarok took control of the map, and then he started grabbing Cure's side, and now he grabs the victory. 3-1. Each game, I think, once again, the muted game a little, yeah, each game more solid than the last. As Ragnarok, well, there you have it. Before the GSL finals, something to chew on. What do you think? Can Ragnarok take Maru? Is this a good example of his gameplay? Did Cure actually wake up this morning, or was that his little brother playing? I don't know. That was actually just traditional Cure there. I love the 90 Marine game. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, thank you, Team Alpha X, and Into the Clan for the matches as always. And I'll see you next time. Hopefully I made your day a little bit better. Thank you for watching. Check out this series as well. What do you think of that one? I don't know. Jimmy, stay chill.